Oh, now to a story making international news. Who knew? Squirrels on attack in San Rafael.
Squirrels on attack. A handful of people bit, scratched, and really injured. Some even ended up in the emergency room. Crazy story.
And new here tonight, some people in the San Francisco Bay Area say a squirrel is ruining their lives. Several residents have ended up in the hospital after being attacked by the angry critter.
A squirrel is ruining the lives of people in the city of San Francisco. A squirrel, not the homeless population, not the open-air drug use, not the lax law enforcement, but a squirrel is one of the biggest problems in these San Francisco residents' lives. Greetings and salutations, everyone. My name is Sean. I'm sorry I've been gone for the last couple of days. I'm actually a little bit sick. I got a little bit of a cough. It probably is something not so serious like super AIDS, but today I have returned to you in order to talk about this issue in and around the San Francisco area where residents are talking about a very mean squirrel and how said mean squirrel is ruining their lives.
No, really. Attack squirrels.
But before we pin down this very squirrely story, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Flyers posted in a San Francisco Bay Area neighborhood warn this is not a joke.
Okay, listen, this show is not only a YouTube channel, it's not only on Rumble, it's not only on multiple video platforms, but it is also a thing that exists via podcast. And for those of you who are listening, who are not visually engaging with this content, I just want to say from me to you over the Actual Justice Warrior channel, I humbly apologize because what you are missing right now on screen may be the greatest image that I've ever seen in my entire life. These people in this neighborhood decided that they were going to put up a wanted poster or a warning poster for this angry squirrel, and they got an image from Google of the squirrel like leaping into the camera, and the first line in the poster is, "This is not a joke." Again, for those of you who are listening via podcast, it says, "Attack squirrel beware," with a bunch of exclamation points. Then it says, "This is not a joke. More than 5 people have been attacked by a very mean squirrel over the past days on Diablo Circle and Mount Lassett." Now look, I'm not a religious scholar. I'm not much of a priest. I've only performed about 4 exorcisms in my entire lifetime, and the resulting casualties for those exorcisms were about 27 people. So don't take my word for it based on my lived experience, but the thing you gotta understand is that if you have a place called Diablo Circle, aka the Circle of the Devil, you cannot be surprised that the woodland creatures in and around that area end up being possessed, end up getting demonic, and end up attacking people in this particular community. Now, we all know that San Francisco is one of the gayest cities in the United States of America, and even though we here on the Actual Justice Warrior channel, we don't judge. We're not interested in your relationships. We're not into that sort of stuff over here. In reality, obviously, if you have Diablo Circle in the gayest area humanly possible, then you cannot but question whether or not this squirrel is actually a vengeance squirrel, an archangel squirrel, and or a demon-possessed squirrel seeking to basically establish residency in order to punish the people in and around this area. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying. I'm not, again, a doctor, not a religious scholar, have many fatalities in the exorcisms that I performed, but it would seem like the math adds up, although again, I'm not a mathematician. Now, the flyer goes on to say that several have gone to the ER for severe, I think they're trying to spell lacerations there, but it ends up reading as lacerations. I don't know why in this obviously computer-type flyer they don't have spell check, but whatever. This squirrel comes out of nowhere and will attack legs, arms, and faces and leave bite marks and scratches.
Let me see.
No, don't let him in.
More than 5 people have been attacked by a very mean squirrel.
But it was biting and scratching, so then it wasn't furry and cute.
Joan Hablack walks 5 miles every day in her scenic neighborhood, where she says wildlife usually shies away from humans. She got a text from a neighborhood realtor alerting her that a squirrel attacked a woman nearby.
So first of all, I will say I did appreciate the fact that the local news segment in and around this area decided to either pull stock images or images of the actual squirrel that did show it to look a little bit grungy, that did show it to look a little bit angry, a little bit mean. As you could see, the This squirrel right here is chewing the crap out of that mop right there. But then you have this one on the ledge that is apparently terrorizing all these different various people. And as we can hear from this elderly woman, who by the way walks 5 miles a day, congratulations to her. That's why this lady looks so good at her age and is probably going to live for a very long time, had it not been for, of course, the squirrel attacks that are taking her out left and right. But of course, as we discover, this squirrel has been warned about in and around this area, and this woman did not expect it to, actually come and attack her, but that's exactly what happened.
And if you don't believe me, believe the signs of neighbors warning neighbors and the neighbors themselves. 5 and counting. Some ending up in the emergency room, like Joe, who got his ear gnawed on and doesn't want to be on camera.
He came down on here and he started gnawing on this fence.
Wait, those are teeth marks?
Those are teeth marks.
You are kidding me.
No. So he come over here and he started gnawing again. I took my hat off to swat him off and he jumped on my head.
Joe's wife, Marie, watched what she calls a fast and mean attack.
Joe gets his baseball cap and hits it. And so she turns around and just jumps on his head, scratched his ear. And then she jumped on his leg. And so he tried to get her off.
Look at these photos taken of the squirrel just before that chunk out of Joe's fence and Joe's ear.
Did that seem outlandish to you? Or is it like, no way, that couldn't have happened?
Yeah, I thought, how weird.
That was until days later when the aggressive animal jumped on her leg.
I started waving my leg around and screaming, get off me, as he kept on clinging more tightly and biting me.
The bite so vicious it sent Heblack to the emergency room.
They said squirrels do not have rabies.
Still, residents are nervous about the nutty squirrel.
So the local news shows us images of these injuries, and look, it's an elderly person. She was bitten up, she was scratched up. I ended up blocking out the injuries because YouTube actually has a new policy where they say that you can't show the aftermath of violence. It's stupid, it's ridiculous, but they don't actually look all that serious. And again, had you not told me they were the result of a squirrel, I might have thought they were the result of a spider bite. But the fact is, obviously this is a scary situation, especially if you're an elderly person and you're being attacked by something that you have no idea you're going to be attacked by. We also end up learning that squirrels apparently don't carry rabies, so again, this squirrel might be high on crystal meth. Who knows? It is San Francisco after all. But again, you have an elderly woman who was attacked by a squirrel on her 5-mile walk that she takes every day. And obviously this has terrified her. And what's even more crazy is that this nut squirrel is actually quite squirrely in that he has evaded capture repeatedly time and time again. And even the acorn-based trapping mechanism from the wildlife department seems to have not worked at all whatsoever. Again, Mount Diablo, attacks happening in Diablo's circle. I think we're talking about something demonic, and these people need to carry around holy water with them.
Wildlife experts are still looking for this squirrel.
Well, we don't know her name, so how would they be able to find her?
So I appreciate this lady making a joke about how if they don't know the squirrel's name, how are they ever going to find her? Absolutely hilarious. I would also point out that maybe the squirrel is experiencing poverty. Maybe we should arrest poverty within the rodent community in and around San Francisco, because obviously the rats are eating much better than the squirrels. But in addition to that, one of my favorite lines throughout the whole course of this local news segment is the fact that this elderly woman says that she's going to cross the street whenever she sees a squirrel in her path.
Heblack won't stop her daily walks, but the next time a squirrel crosses her path, she's moving to the other side of the street.
Now look, I don't know how nice of a neighborhood this part of San Francisco actually is, but the fact that this woman is going to treat squirrels the same way that elderly people treat sketchy teenagers when they're walking is hilarious to me. It makes me crack up. And again, the story is ridiculous and absurd, but it just goes to show you how basic public services in the city of San Francisco are significantly lacking. And even in the nice neighborhoods, the squirrels are hooked on drugs, they're squatting in the areas, they're attacking random people, and maybe, just maybe, this will trigger this particular old lady to vote differently than the progressive youths that are ruining that particular city. But of course, I want to know what you guys think about all this down in the comments below. Do you think this squirrely situation can be resolved? Do you think the residents of this particular area are going nuts, or maybe the squirrel is going nuts itself? Again, all your thoughts down in the comments below. as per usual, if you like this video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on my social medias, support me via the support links in the description of this video, send me some extra support because I'm feeling a bit sick. You might be able to hear it in my voice. This has been me talking about the squirrel that's destroying San Francisco. Till next time.